Basically, this movie has been adapted based on the true story regarding the worst tragedy about marine oil drilling operation that happened in 2010 at the Gulf of Mexico. This also has been reenacted by a few characters, and the main character for this film is Mike Williams, who contribute to the major role in the situation of this film in many aspects, such as physically, emotionally. Generally, the tragedy that happened in this situation occurs due to many factors, which these factors are related to the many aspects of safety in the marine oil drilling operations. There are many elements and factors that we can find in this movie, which all these elements have a significant role to the tragedy. First element that we can highlight was protective personal equipment, or as known as PPE, is one of instruments that need to be applied when doing a job at certain areas that can provide hazard. The application of the instrument is required to reduce the risk of hazard in the workplace, which every company that related to the certain activity regarding factory are required their workers to wear PPE in the workplace, and they are strictly apply this instrument as the ways to reduce the risk of hazard. Based on my opinion, the application of protective personal equipment in this film was perfect, which most of the workers are follow the instruction of their hierarchy management. For example, from the first of the movies, the workers that work at Deepwater Horizon wear a proper outfit that suits with the policy of the company and the regulation of the safety to reduce the risk of hazard. Even at the minutes of 51:11, Mr. Donald Wilbrin wear a safety helmet when he checks the condition of the Deepwater Horizon after the negative pressure test, which it shows that even the hierarchy management also need to wear a properly safety equipment in the workplace. Thus, protective personal equipment was an important instrument that need to be applied in many situations in the workplace to reduce the risk of hazard.
Standard operating procedure is one of the most important elements that needs to be applied in the workplace, which this element can minimize the risk of hazard in the workplace. Most of company or organization implement certain element of standard operating procedure in their workplace, which this element or order need to be followed by the workers when doing their tasks. The application of this element also to improve the safety of the workers and other parties in the workplace. Based on my view as a safety manager, the compliance for the standard operating procedure is in the film of Deepwater Horizon was poor, which the operation of the maintenance has been interfered by the hierarchy management, which the proposed standard operating procedure has been ignored, and this situation has led to the tragedy of the Deepwater Horizon. For example, at the minute 2209 in the Deepwater Horizon movie, Mr. Mike Williams found out that the cement durability has been cancelled by the hierarchy management, Mr. Donald Vidrin and Mr. Robert Kaluza, because they want to speed up the process of Deepwater Horizon because the process has exceeded the due date of the maintenance, and their action has led to the tragedy in the Deepwater Horizon. Thus, the compliance of the standard operating procedure was very important to minimize risk and to create a safety workplace. Based on my view as a safety manager, the cooperation between the maintenance team and the management team are important to fulfill the objective of the process to create a win-win situation between the two parties. The management team needs to provide all the basic needs to the construction or maintenance team with limitation of the interviewer so that the workers can focus on settling the problem on the site and the same time produce a lot of benefits to the management hierarchy. Although the consultant and advisory by the management hierarchy are important, but too much interfere will affect the performance of the workers, which it also can increase the risk of hazard because mostly management hierarchies are not familiar with the condition on the sites. For example, at the minute 3955 in the Deepwater Horizon movie, the General Operational Supervisor Mr. Jimmy Harrell has argued with the hierarchy management Mr. Donald Vidrin about the result of negative pressure test, which Mr. Jimmy said this test result is failed while Mr. Donald said there is misunderstanding regarding the test result. After that, Mr. Jimmy lost his argue and then everyone follows Mr. Donald's instruction, which this instruction has led into the tragedy of Deepwater Horizon. Thus, the bonding between the hierarchy management and the workers are important to fulfill the objective of organization and to reduce the risk of hazard at the workplace.
According to OSHA, a hazard is any situation, such or action that has potential to result in injury and illness. Hazard at work may include things like the building construction, the machine and chemical the employee utilize, and a lot of more. Among the most typical type of workplace danger are chemical hazard such as compressed gas. As we can see, high pressure oil and gas are the hazard sources shown in the Deepwater Horizon movie. The movie illustrates the intense pressure that comes with drilling large deep water oil and gas well, which is very dangerous situation. To reduce hazard occurrence, several hazard control strategies are presented in movie involving personal protection equipment (PPE). In the movie, employees are seen donning items of PPE such as hard hats, safety goggles, gloves, and clothing that can withstand fire. PPE is essential component of hazard control since it shields employees from harm and hazardous substance exposure.
In the movie Deepwater Horizon, we witness a catastrophic accident that occurred due to several hazards that went unchecked. The offshore drilling rig owned and operated by BP suffered a massive explosion due to the accumulation of volatile substances. This event served as a good case study to discuss hazard sources, hazard control, and strategies to reduce and eliminate hazard occurrences. There were several sources of hazards on the rig, including chemical compounds, high pressure equipment, and complex automated system. One of the main hazards was the buildup of methane gas, which was formed by the drilling process. The gas was expected to be cased back into the earth, but instead it escaped through the rig's wellbore. Moreover, the use of volatile organic compounds and other dangerous chemicals in the drilling process posed a significant hazard. Effective hazard control measures could have saved lives and reduced the extent of damage. Given the hazardous substances and equipment used on the rig, a comprehensive hazard mitigation approach was essential. Adequate control measures would have included the implementation of proper safety protocols, maintaining equipment, and regular inspections. Moreover, the safety culture should have been strengthened, and employees should have been trained to recognize and respond to potential hazards. The use of advanced safety technologies could have reduced the occurrence of hazards on the rig. For example, a comprehensive alarm system that would detect gas buildup could have alerted the operators to shut down the rigs. Similarly, redundant system could have been placed to ensure continued operation in case of an emergency, and the use of well casing technology to prevent gas from escaping and the installation of safety barriers could have also reduced the risk of hazards. In conclusion, Deepwater Horizon disaster served as a crucial lesson in workplace safety management. Effective hazard control and the implementation of comprehensive safety measures could have prevented the disaster from occurring. Hence, it is essential to prioritize safety in any workplace setting to avoid tragic consequences.